You ever think your whole life can turn on a single word? Mine did. It started with mom and ended with a lock clicking shut behind me. Let me back up a sec. I'm Vanessa Moore, and I used to believe if you just poured enough love into someone, if you worked hard enough, stayed late enough, remembered all the birthdays and whispered enough lullabies, then maybe, just maybe, you'd get to keep the things you built. The home, the family, the sense that you mattered. Yeah, turns out life's got a different sense of humor. I was a nurse 15 years in the pediatric ward, hands that never really stopped moving, voice always soft, even when my heart felt like a drum inside my chest. The job ate up your bones and spit them out, but I lived for it. The kids who had no visitors, the mothers who couldn't stay the night, I stayed. It made me feel useful, you know? So when I saw that boy Lucas at the end of the hall, sitting there like a forgotten birthday card, blue eyes too old for his face, I just stopped. I sat down next to him, didn't push, didn't prod. Sometimes silence is its own language. Eventually, his little hand reached for mine. I'll tell you, something changed in me right then, not pity, but this weird, electric sense of knowing. Like this kid was supposed to be mine, even if the rest of the world didn't see it yet. I went home, told my husband Gregory, man, had the patience of a saint and eyes that said more than his mouth ever did. He just nodded, squeezed my hand. Next day, I brought Lucas a sandwich. He didn't say thank you, but he ate, and that was enough. Weeks turned into paperwork, phone calls, and quiet, determined mornings. And then just like that, I was a mom. Not the kind with matching outfits or Facebook photo dumps. The kind who made a home out of leftovers and lullabies. Gregory and I, we gave Lucas his own room blue paint, white stars, door left open just enough so he wouldn't wake up alone. Every dollar stretched between bills and backpacks. No Disney World, but he and Gregory built a fire pit out back, roasted marshmallows. Life was real, not perfect, but real. Of course, scars don't heal just because you want them to. Lucas flinched at sudden voices, watched people's faces too closely. Kids at school asked, "That your real mom?" And I saw how he'd curl up, searching for the right answer. Never forced it, never made him say it out loud. Just showed up every day, every single one. Wrote notes in his lunchbox, stood at the window until the bus came home. He grew up fast, went from silence to rapid-fire stories and wild hugs. Called me mom, like it was a lifeline. But nothing gold can stay. By high school, Lucas started slipping away little by little. Stopped saying thank you, shut himself in his room, answered in grunts and shrugs. Gregory would sit at the table, try to reach him sometimes with a joke, sometimes just a hand on his shoulder, but Lucas rolled his eyes, acted like we were holding him back. Teenage stuff, I told myself. But it felt like losing a limb you'd only just learned to use. When he got into a college out of state, we packed his bags, cried, tried to make it a big deal. He said, "I've got this," like he'd raised himself. And once he left, the house felt bigger, colder. Calls got shorter, holidays skipped, photos left dusty on the mantel. Then Grigormy, Anchor, got sick. Headaches, confusion, a mess of hospital charts. I never left his side, not for a second, but even love can't outweigh fate. He died 2 days after a nurse gave him the wrong meds. I knew it, he knew it. Quiet as ever, Gregory just squeezed my hand. When he was gone, I did what I always do, worked. I grieved in silence, then went after the hospital. Lawsuit evidence, all of it. Settled for $9.5 million. I never told a soul. Kept the checks locked away in a box at the back of my closet. Didn't change a thing about the house. Didn't fix the cracks in the driveway or upgrade the TV. Lucas never called to ask about any of it. Didn't come home for the funeral. I grieved for my husband and for the son I'd raised and somehow lost. Years passed. I wondered, did I give too much? Did I love too hard? Maybe I left him nothing to fight for. But regrets don't warm your bed at night, and I kept loving him anyway. I survived quietly. I waited. Then, out of nowhere, Lucas came back clean-shaven, crisp, suit jacket, with a girlfriend in tow. Jessica, a lawyer with perfect teeth and a handshake like she'd already measured you for a coffin. They were all smiles, telling me how much they'd missed me, talking about family and security and how they just wanted to make sure everything was protected. Legal paperwork, trust funds, stuff I only half understood. Just a few signatures, Mom. For your own good. You know where this is going, right? I signed because I wanted to believe. Because I wanted to be needed again. Days later, I came home from the grocery store and my key wouldn't work. Locks changed, suitcase in my car, Lucas on the porch with that cold, distant look. It's not personal, Vanessa. Time to move on. That's all he said. I slept in my car that night, stared at the dashboard, and tried to stitch my life back together from the inside out. But here's the thing hurt me, but don't count me out. I had that settlement money, and I wasn't done fighting. I got a lawyer, the kind with bite, and we dug in. Those papers Lucas and Jessica had me sign? Fraud, plain and simple. Courtroom battles, headlines, the whole town whispering. People I hadn't seen in years-old patients, neighbors, even strangers came out to support me. Lucas's smug smile started to fade. Jessica's confidence cracked. It was brutal, ugly. And in the end, when the judge read the verdict, me house restored, those two held accountable for every dirty trick. I didn't feel like cheering. I just felt clean, like I'd survived a storm and the world was finally quiet. I walked out of that courtroom, head high, into the sun. The cameras flashed, but none of that mattered. What mattered was this. I was back in my home. I ran my hand over the old walls, let myself remember Gregory's laugh, Lucas's tiny hand, the warmth that had always been here, waiting for me to claim it again. And I realized this was never about a house. It was about fighting for what's right for your own heart, even when nobody's looking. You think you know what justice feels like, but you don't not until you stand there, alone, and refuse to fall. Some say family's forever. I say family's what you make of it, and sometimes what you have to fight to reclaim. So here's my question for you. Where do you draw the line? When does love become too much? Can justice ever really fix a broken heart? Tell me what you think, because out here, we're all just trying to find our way home.